Hey everyone, back today with another video. Before I jump too far into the content, I just want to give a quick update on what I'm trying to work on in my channel here. In general, I want to do a little bit better of a job of actually showing what I'm talking about instead of just talking about it. So I'll be putting more of an effort going forward to have more content where you can see what I'm actually trying to talk about doing instead of just hearing about it. I don't think there was really any feedback about that, but I do, for my own sake, want to make my content a little better in helping people understand in that way. Maybe it'll cause less questions. Maybe it'll help people understand a little bit better. So first of all, as you can tell from the title today, I'm going to talk about the Tag Team Arena, or 3v3 Arena, or however you want to call it. But I'm really only going to be talking about how you should analyze what rewards you're going for. I don't really want to talk about whether the rewards are good, bad, or otherwise. There's plenty of people that are going to be doing that, and honestly, you don't get anything out of me telling you that, hey, Plarium should do something different. Like, that doesn't help you as a player. It doesn't help you make any sort of decisions. So I don't think that that's useful content. So that's not going to show up on my channel. You're not going to hear me complaining about rewards being bad. You're not going to have me ranting about what Plarium should or shouldn't do. Just with the game how it is, how should you spend your resources, or how I think you should spend your resources. So first of all, the reason that I did this really quick 12-3, obviously it did show that, 37 seconds, that's not terrible. My best time was 13. Kale has nothing on him to make him specific to be a campaign farmer, and he's just using the gear, the login gear. But what I did want to show is this was 8 energy. We got 11,000 silver. Now normally we would get a shield as well, so I would say that conservatively you get about 15,000 silver per run. Obviously it's more than that, but around the 15,000 mark is what I'll be using today in this video. And I'm using that so that I can compare the rewards that you can get from the Bazaar that was just released today. Now additionally, if you have an XP boost, it takes 10 runs in here, so 80 energy, for you to get a 2-star champion from level 1 to level 20. So that's something else that's good to keep in mind, is it takes 80 energy to get 3 2-star champions to level 20 so that you can rank them up to be 3 stars. So once we have that in mind, it gives us a good baseline from where we can work. And now we want to go into the gem shop to look at something for a moment. And I want to look at this big shard pack. So it's 11 ancient shards for 900 gems, which means it's approximately 80 gems for an ancient shard, or if you want to think about it in terms of energy refills, it's 2 energy refills or an ancient shard. It's kind of your option for gems here if you're considering whether or not you should buy an ancient shard. Most people say that this isn't really worth it. I tend to agree with them, but for the moment, if we just assume that an ancient shard is worth about the same as 2 energy refills, it'll help kind of give us a way to analyze the rewards that are in the Bazaar. Now, additionally, something that's good to see is if we go into the tavern and we choose our favorite 2-star, we do a lot of 12-3, so this is our favorite. 4 brews gets very close to making it a 3-star champion. So that means to get 3 2-star champions up to level 20 so that you can make them into 3-star food, you would need 12 brews plus a little bit more. So let's just call it 13 brews for the moment. So 13 brews would be the equivalent of 80 energy if you have an XP boost. So that's one more thing we want to keep in mind. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, so that we've thought a little bit about how we want to try to compare some of the resources in the game, let's just jump into the Bazaar. So I'm only going to look at the bronze rewards because at the moment only the very in-game players are into silver, And it's going to be a while that anyone that's truly getting much from my content will be anywhere but bronze. So I just want to focus on bronze for the moment. Now, the energy is kind of the baseline that I would want to look at when I see these rewards. So 300 energy, that's quite a bit of energy. We're looking at almost 40 runs of 12-3. And 40 runs of 12-3 at 15,000 silver is 600,000 silver. So just looking at that right off the bat, we can tell that the silver is definitely not worth buying. Additionally, we know to get 3 2-star champions to 3-star, we need about 13 brews worth of XP. So we would need to buy this more than 4 times just to be the same as 80 energy. So clearly we don't want to buy the brews either. Now the rank 3 chickens is interesting. It's a slightly more involved, but if we think about it, again, it takes 80 energy to get a 2-star food champion to 3 stars. So this is definitely not worth it in terms of looking at the energy either. So the only rewards we really need to look at is energy, ancient shard, and rare skills. So we'll look at the books last because this is really the only place now that we can consistently farm the rare skill tomes outside of events and tournaments. So it's a little harder to think about. So let's think about ancient shards and energy for a moment. So remember we talked at the very beginning, I said, for comparison's sake, we'll call an ancient shard worth 2 energy refills. Now, since most people don't buy ancient shards with gems or encourage you not to, that means it's worth a little bit less. But let's just say that you're buying ancient shards with your gems, and you're buying the pack of 9 because it's most efficient. So then this ancient shard is worth 2 refills, and let's say that you're level 50. So that's 120 energy times 2 is 240. So this is worth 240 energy. That means that this is definitely worth more to you if you were spending your gems on energy. So you get another 20%, so this would put you at 360. So this actually ends up being 50% better than the ancient shard if you are leveling up food with an XP boost, which is when you should be using the excess energy you would get something like that, is to level up when you have an XP boost. So far, that means that energy would take priority over the ancient shard. What's really going to be difficult to try to wrap our heads around is the rare skill books. Now, those aren't farmable, and for me, I don't need a lot of books right now, right? So if we go into upgrade skills, I have 18 rare books at the moment. Now, I only have 3 champions that I know that I'm putting a lot of effort into, right? I will be using them. I know that Diabolist will be in my Dragon team most likely, but I can farm books for her in 12-3. War Maiden will be in my tag team arena teams, but I can get books for her from Deadlands. So I don't need books at the moment. However, I have a lot of ancient shards. So as soon as I open 2 champions that I will want to use, I'll basically be out of rare books. So rare books are going to be a very useful resource for me. So in general, I will probably be prioritizing the rare book early on over the energy. Now, the question becomes, what is the cooldown going to look like? Because we know that there's a cooldown on how often we can buy these rewards. So if the cooldown is fairly long, like if it's a couple of weeks for this rare skill tome, then that means some of our energies, or some of our gold bars are going to go to energy. And if the cooldown is long on both of these things, we may end up using gold bars on ancient shards as well. And how I'm doing the calculation on how many gold bars we have, if we look at the tiers, when you're in Bronze 1, which is where you'll be to start with and probably for a little while, you get 5 gold bars per win, so individual fight. So you can get 15 per match. and you get 10 matches a day. So the most you can get per day without refreshes is 150 gold bars in bronze. I got 140 today because I wasn't quite patient enough to find the very, very easy matches. But 140 to 150 is manageable if you are looking for all of the easy matches. So with 140 to 150, you're looking at about approximately 1,000 gold bars every week. Plus at reset, you get another 630. So you're getting about 3,000 gold bars every 2 weeks, which means you'll be able to buy 3 of these different options every 2 weeks. So if the cooldown is, more than a week on these things, you may end up spending some of your gold bars on ancients. And then that calculation was just if you were in bronze 1. It increases by, 2 per win is almost 50%, right? So that's almost 1,500 a week here. And then this is another 120. So as you start moving up in bronze, it's quite a bit more. So you're very likely going to be buying the 3 of these if the cooldown is long. If the cooldown, for instance, on energy is really short, like it's a day or something, you'd probably never be buying ancient shards. I imagine that the rare skill cooldown is going to be a bit longer, so it would not surprise me if you're buying these on cooldown in the early game when you still need rare books, which I think is great. I think this is fantastic because I'm going to need the tomes for my champions, especially once I start opening those 25 ancients. So that is how I would be investing my gold bars. At the moment, my defense is just 3 level 1 1-star champions because I personally don't think I'm going to be able to progress into bronze 2 with the teams and champions that I have. So I want to be as low in bronze 1 as I can to make sure that I'm seeing enough easy fights that I can win all or most of my fights every day and get the full rewards. If a lot of people start doing this, then maybe it's possible I could move into bronze 2. But at the moment, I want to make sure that I get these rewards when I can. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And that's all I have for today. Hopefully you guys want to come hang out with me in my Twitch channel. I'm live every single night starting at 7 p.m. Central here in America as the dailies reset, and that's twitch.tv/cluelesseconomist. So I hope to see you guys there. Thank you.